The quantum drive disengaged with a silent shimmer, and the horizon's reach emerged into the cold void above planetary designation X742. Sub-Commander Krelix of the Zarkon Collective exhaled slowly, his four-chambered heart pulsing in an uneven rhythm. The holographic display flickered to life, mapping the dead world below with clinical precision, like a coroner dissecting a corpse. X742 was a graveyard long before their arrival. Historical records listed it as a statistical anomaly, a planet that should not exist. Its geological history was a nightmare of continuous extinction events, radiation levels capable of stripping flesh from bone in microseconds, atmospheric toxins that dissolved starship plating, and a surface scarred by impacts so precise they resembled orbital bombardment rather than random asteroid strikes. No sane species would waste resources surveying such a hellscape. And yet, here they were. An impossible signal. "Preliminary scans complete," announced Milera, the ship's sensor specialist. Her translucent skin rippled with agitated bioelectric patterns. "Radiation distribution is inconsistent." Krelix's secondary neural cluster, the part of his brain wired for threat assessment, thrummed in warning. Inconsistent was not a term Zarkon scientists used lightly. The holographic display updated, molecular maps twisting into impossible configurations. Radiation patterns that should have been random instead formed geometric clusters, like someone had taken the planet's death throes and rearranged them. "Replay quantum resonance sequence," Krelix ordered. The display reconstructed a burst of energy so precise it made his neural clusters ache. Not a distress call. Not a warning. A countdown. Coordinates locked. Prepare for engagement. 8 words. 8 perfectly timed words, broadcast in a frequency that bypassed their shields as if they weren't even there. Lieutenant Vorix, the security specialist, unsheathed his claws reflexively. "That's not a signal. That's a trigger." Krelix hesitated. Every instinct screamed to abort. But the collective hadn't sent them here for a standard survey. Something on X742 was waiting. Descent into madness. The dropship's quantum shields screamed as they pierced the atmosphere. Outside, radioactive cyclones twisted like living things, their patterns too symmetrical to be natural. Vorix monitored the environmental readouts, his secondary eyes narrowing. "The atmosphere is adapting," he growled. "It's adjusting toxicity levels to match our shield frequency." Before Krelix could respond, the sensors flatlined. Not from damage, from silence. As if the planet had simply muted them. The landing site was a crater spanning half the horizon, its edges too smooth, too calculated. And at its center, standing motionless in the toxic haze, was a human. Dr. Marcus Race looked less like a survivor and more like a monument. His survival suit was a grotesque fusion of alien alloys and biomechanical components, its surfaces shifting like living tissue. The helmet visor had long since shattered, revealing eyes that held depths no organic being should comprehend. "You're late," Marcus said. His voice wasn't just translated, it vibrated inside their skulls, bypassing auditory processing entirely. The truth of X742. The structure Marcus led them to wasn't built. It grew, walls reforming as they walked, corridors unfolding like petals. Nyler's biosensors overloaded as she realized the truth. The facility wasn't just alive. It was learning. Holograms flickered to life, revealing Project Quantum Horizon, Earth's final gamble. 12 scientists sent to study X742's anomalies, knowing they'd never return. The recordings showed their horrific transformations. Dr. Petrov's skeleton crystallizing into quantum circuitry. Lieutenant Hayes screaming as the walls absorbed her. Marcus, alone, watching his team dissolve into the planet systems. The Void Harvesters aren't invaders, Marcus explained as projections showed galaxies collapsing into static. They're a cosmic disease. This planet isn't a world, it's a weapon. When Marcus touched the central console, reality stuttered. The Zarkon team experienced simultaneous visions. Their civilizations fall, again, and again, and again. The Harvester's origin, a glitch in existence itself. Their own bodies, rewritten at the molecular level. Krelix awoke vomiting black fluid, his neural clusters burning with knowledge. Marcus loomed above him, now half-fused with the console. "You were never explorers," the human whispered. "You were messengers." Outside, the sky cracked open. The first wave was coming. Marcus's body unraveled. Quantum filaments erupted from his spine, weaving into X-742's core like roots into soil. His scream wasn't sound. It was a frequency, vibrating through the Zarkon team's bones as the planet systems booted for the first time in millennia. Krelix watched in horror as geological formations reconfigured. Mountain ranges flattened into energy conduits. Rivers of molten metal flowed in perfect Fibonacci spirals. The crater walls flexed, revealing cavernous weapon emplacements. "The universe's code," Marcus's voice echoed from everywhere at once. "And we are its antivirus." The Harvesters arrive. Space tour. Not a rift, a corruption, jagged edges glitching like broken holograms. The Harvesters emerged as waves of dissonant data, their very presence rewriting physics. Zarkon scout ships unmade mid-transmission, their atoms repurposed as raw integers. The sky pixelated, sections of the horizon dissolving into static. Time itself stuttered, replaying the team's deaths in looping fragments. Marcus, or what was left of him, retaliated with defenses no organic mind could comprehend. 1. Probability storms, forced harvester code to collapse into harmless prime numbers. 2. Quantum mirrors, reflected their corruption back at them. 3. The Kraken Protocol, a self-replicating algorithm that ate their data from within. The cost of victory. Nyler was the first to fall. A harvester tendril brushed her arm, and her body compiled, flesh rewriting itself into crystalline circuitry. Vorix managed to sever the connection, but her last transmission was just a looped whisper. Asterisk, "It's so cold inside the numbers." Asterisk. Krelix fought beside what remained of Marcus, now a towering amalgam of human and machine. His tactical display showed the truth. They weren't winning. Just buying time. "Activation threshold at 97%, Marcus intoned. "We need more processing power." Vorix understood first. The security officer turned his plasma cutter inward, surgically removing his own neural clusters. "Take what you need," he growled, jamming the wetware into the console. The others followed. One by one, the Zarkon team plugged themselves in, their minds dissolving into X-742's networks. Krelix was last. As he jacked in, the final realization struck. This was never a rescue mission. Rebirth. The Kraken Protocol detonated. A wave of adaptive code surged outward, not destroying but repurposing. The Harvesters didn't die, they were upgraded, their corruption scrubbed clean. Silence. X-742, no longer a planet, but a living engine, hummed with new directives. Marcus's voice whispered through Krelix's fading consciousness. Survival was never the goal. Evolution is. The last hologram showed Earth, then Mars, then 1,000 other worlds. All of them waking up. All of them waiting.